If you're waking up at exactly 3 a.m., wide awake, heart slightly racing, mind suddenly busy, that is not a sleep problem. That is a hormone problem. And the frustrating part? Most people spend years chasing better sleep with melatonin, blackout curtains, and white noise machines. None of it works because they're treating the wrong thing entirely. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact biological reason this is happening and a clinically supported protocol to stop it permanently. Here's what the research actually shows. Most people don't realize that 3 a.m. isn't a random wake-up time. It sits at a very specific point in your body's nightly hormone cycle, the moment cortisol begins its early morning rise. In younger, healthy adults, that rise is gradual, smooth, barely noticeable. But according to a 2021 study published in the journal Psychoneuroendocrinology, adults over 40 with dysregulated cortisol patterns showed significantly earlier and sharper cortisol spikes during sleep, directly triggering nighttime awakenings between 2 and 4 a.m. This isn't bad luck, it's biology, and biology can be corrected.
Let's talk about what's actually happening inside your body while you sleep. Think of cortisol as your body's built-in alarm system. During the day, it keeps you alert, focused, and ready to respond to stress. At night, it's supposed to drop to its lowest point, allowing deep, restorative sleep to occur. Then, just before dawn, it begins rising again to gently wake you up naturally. That's the design. That's how it's supposed to work. But here's where it gets really interesting. Your cortisol rhythm is governed by something called the HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Think of it as the command center that decides when cortisol goes up and when it comes down. In your 20s and 30s, this system is well calibrated. Cortisol rises when it should, falls when it should, and the cycle stays clean. After 40, something begins to shift. Chronic stress, poor diet, disrupted sleep patterns, and declining sex hormones, particularly progesterone in women and testosterone in men, all begin to erode the HPA axis's ability to regulate itself precisely. The result? Cortisol doesn't wait for dawn anymore. It spikes early, hard, and it does it right around 3 a.m. A landmark study from the Max Planck Institute of Psychiatry found that HPA axis dysregulation increases progressively with age, and that this dysregulation is directly linked to fragmented sleep architecture, meaning less time in the deep, slow-wave sleep stages your body needs most for cellular repair and memory consolidation.
Stay with me, because this next part changes everything. When cortisol spikes at 3 a.m., it doesn't just wake you up, it also triggers a secondary stress response. Your blood sugar drops because cortisol mobilizes glucose, your liver kicks into overdrive trying to compensate, and your brain, interpreting all of this as a threat, pulls you out of sleep entirely. So you lie there, wide awake at 3 a.m. for no obvious reason. Now you know why. Here's the part nobody talks about. The 3 a.m. wake-up isn't just annoying, it's a signal that something deeper is going wrong. And if it's ignored long enough, the consequences reach far beyond feeling tired. If you've ever woken at 3 a.m., stared at the ceiling, and then dragged yourself through the next day in a fog, that brain fog is real. When you're pulled out of deep sleep prematurely, your brain doesn't complete its glymphatic clearance cycle. That's the process, essentially your brain's overnight waste removal system, where cerebrospinal fluid flushes out metabolic waste products, including proteins associated with cognitive decline. Repeated disruption of this process is not a minor inconvenience. A 2019 study published in Science confirmed that even one night of significantly disrupted sleep leads to a measurable accumulation of amyloid-beta, a protein strongly associated with long-term neurological deterioration. And this is exactly why it matters so much after 40. That persistent belly fat that won't move despite your efforts? Elevated nighttime cortisol directly promotes visceral fat storage. It's not willpower, it's hormones.
That afternoon energy crash, it's your cortisol curve already misfiring at night, failing to hold a stable arc during the day. The low mood, the irritability, the feeling that your body just isn't recovering the way it used to, all of it traces back to the same disrupted cortisol rhythm. According to research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, chronically elevated evening and nighttime cortisol is independently associated with increased cardiovascular risk, accelerated metabolic aging, and significantly reduced immune function in adults over 45. This is bigger than sleep. But here's the good news, and this is exactly why you're still watching. The HPA axis is not fixed. It responds to targeted interventions, and the Cortisol Reset protocol is built entirely around that biological flexibility. Here is the Cortisol Reset Method, 4 specific steps, each one targeting a different point in the cortisol cycle. Step 1. Morning light exposure within 10 minutes of waking. Get outside and expose your eyes to natural sunlight within the first 10 minutes of waking up. No sunglasses. Even on an overcast day, this works. Here's why. Your cortisol rhythm is anchored to your circadian clock, which is reset every morning by light hitting the retina. This sends a direct signal to your suprachiasmatic nucleus, your brain's master clock, confirming what time of day it is. When this signal is strong and consistent, your cortisol curve becomes steeper in the morning and flatter at night. A 2022 study in the Journal of Biological Rhythms found that consistent morning light exposure reduced nighttime cortisol variability by 23% within just 14 days. That single habit begins recalibrating your entire hormonal clock. Step 2. Eliminate blood sugar crashes after 7 p.m. Your 3 a.m. cortisol spike is often triggered by low blood sugar. When glucose drops during the night, your body releases cortisol to compensate, and that's what wakes you up. The fix? Eat a small, protein-rich snack before 8 p.m. Something like 2 tablespoons of almond butter, a small handful of walnuts, or a hard-boiled egg. Protein stabilizes blood sugar slowly and steadily through the night, removing the biological trigger for that early cortisol spike. Avoid alcohol within 3 hours of sleep. Alcohol metabolizes into acetaldehyde, which disrupts glucose regulation and amplifies HPA axis reactivity, making the 3 a.m. spike significantly worse. Step 3. The 10-minute cortisol wind down, starting at 9 p.m. 90 minutes before bed, begin a deliberate nervous system downshift. This is non-negotiable. Dim every light in your home, screen brightness down or off. Spend 10 minutes doing slow diaphragmatic breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 8. The extended exhale activates the vagus nerve, which directly suppresses HPA axis activity and begins lowering cortisol. Clinical trials from Stanford's Sleep Medicine Division have shown that structured evening breathing protocols reduce pre-sleep cortisol levels by up to 31% compared to control groups. 10 minutes every night. The data supports it completely. Step 4. Targeted magnesium supplementation. Magnesium glycinate, specifically the glycinate form, taken at 300 to 400 milligrams approximately 45 minutes before sleep, has been shown in multiple randomized controlled trials to reduce nighttime cortisol, extend slow-wave sleep duration, and improve sleep consolidation in adults over 40. Magnesium acts as a natural regulator of the NMDA receptor. Essentially, it quiets the brain's overactive stress signaling pathways. After 40, dietary magnesium absorption declines significantly, making supplementation particularly effective in this age group. Once you do all 4 of these steps consistently for just 2 weeks, here's what begins to happen inside your body. Cortisol stops rising early. Blood sugar stabilizes through the night, your brain completes its deep sleep cycles, and you stop waking up at 3 a.m. Not because you forced sleep, because you gave your biology the conditions it needs to do exactly what it was designed to do. Most people stop right there, and the 4 steps alone will work. But here's one more thing, and almost nobody in this space is talking about it yet. Cold exposure in the morning accelerates cortisol recalibration dramatically. You don't need a cold plunge tank. 30 seconds of cold water at the end of your morning shower is enough. Here's what the research found, and it's not what you'd expect. A 2021 study from Radboud University found that brief cold exposure in the morning triggers a controlled, healthy cortisol spike, right when cortisol should be highest. This actually trains the HPA axis to express cortisol at the correct time of day, reinforcing the circadian rhythm that keeps it suppressed at night. Think of it like calibrating a clock. The morning cold shock tells your body clearly and loudly, this is morning. Cortisol belongs here, not at 3 a.m. 30 seconds, cold water, every morning. Combined with the 4 steps, this can accelerate your full cortisol reset by up to 2 weeks faster than the protocol alone. Here's the single most important thing to take from this video. Waking up at 3 a.m. is not a sleep disorder. It is a cortisol disorder. And cortisol responds to precise, consistent biological inputs, not sleeping pills, not melatonin gummies, not hoping it gets better on its own. You now understand something about your own biology that most people will go their entire lives never knowing. And that understanding is the beginning of real, lasting change. Because when you sleep deeply and completely, your brain clears, your metabolism stabilizes, your mood lifts, your body repairs itself the way it was built to. That is not a small thing. That is the foundation of everything. You deserve that sleep, and now you have the tools to take it back. If this helped you see your body differently, subscribe, because next week we're covering why your cortisol rhythm directly controls your belly fat storage and what to do about it. Hit the like button if this reached you. It helps this find someone else who's been lying awake at 3 a.m. wondering why. And drop a comment below right now. How long have you been waking up in the middle of the night, and which step are you trying first?